We can stop HIV, Iowa. Everyone has a role to play in stopping HIV. Unfortunately, there are barriers that make our job a little more difficult.
Stigma is one of our biggest challenges. According to a survey, 27% of respondents who were living with HIV said they waited to get tested because of the stigma.
So we should talk about HIV more.
And support people living with HIV.
Find out more at stophiviowa.org.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, folks. This is Who Did You Boycott Today? I am picking up where I left off from the part 1 of Othal, Ozone, Wallace audio recording that I am making a re-recording of the one that I did over 2 years ago. I'm going to start off with reading the copyright disclaimer and then pick up where I left off with a little part overlapping from part 1. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teachings, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, now that that is done, part of this audio will include audio from Hassan Campbell video on YouTube, and also audio from what's his name? Heavy Duty Country audio. So to be within the Copyright Act of 1976, I want to make sure that I state that at the beginning of this audio, this part should be pretty short, and then I'll pick up with a third part and see if I can finish it up. Here we go. Help to keep me safe and navigate the world that I was growing up in. My mother fully understood the danger of her children being an African American. She fully understood that. My mother had to have witnessed some of the earlier treatment of Jim Crow laws. She had to witness that. She had to endure that time. And so she made it a point to teach her children about safety, of navigating the racist world we were growing up in. So that is what inspires me to make this video in support of Ozone Wallace. His first name is Othal Ozone Wallace. I have also called the police department in Florida to check on Ozone's welfare. I was transferred to two different sections at the police department, but I was able to determine that the police department has started allowing to practice his religion and to receive what they call, I guess, live videos with his family members. Initially, Amici X mentioned on her video that they were refusing to let Ozone practice his religion faith, and he was not permitted for his family members to visit him. I trust and pray that Ozone is being allowed to receive televised visits from his family members and loved ones. Ozone Wallace have a hard road ahead of him. All of us who are thinking with clear minds understand clearly the road that is ahead of our brother. We are living in a racist world. African Americans and ADOS have a very slim chance of receiving fair justice. But maybe with the help of our Heavenly Father, Ozone case will make history. It will make a precedent, like Michi X mentioned on her video. I pray to God it will. We need for Ozone Wallace case to set a precedent for our next generation of African Americans and ADOS living in the world that they will have to grow up in. So I pray to God that our brother Ozone Wallace will receive a fair trial. I feel in my heart that Ozone Wallace was bait and trapped by that police officer that approached him that night. When you watch the video that Hassan Campbell made, you will be able to make your own determination that that police officer who approached Ozone Wallace that night, he did not approach him with any kind of respect. I'm sure that that police officer had the ability to run Ozone's license plate and determine who he was. I'm sure that police officer may have already known who Ozone Wallace was before he approached him that night. He may have already been on a watch list. I do not know, but my gut instincts tell me that that probably is the case. But when you watch that video, judge for yourself the way that police Ozone Wallace that night. He approached him and he talked to him like a dog, less than a dog. Sit, he kept telling him. Ozone Wallace, why could the police officer not simply explain to Ozone why he was approaching him and why he was wanting to question him? As African Americans and ADOS, we are not given that respect by police persons. When they approach us, they do not want to talk to us as a human being and respect us as a human being. Ozone Wallace was simply asking the officer to explain to him why he was approaching him and why he felt it necessary to want to question him. Was that asking too much for that police officer to explain to Ozone Wallace why he had a need to approach him? We are living in some dangerous times when a person cannot even sit in a car outside of their living apartment and be safe and feel safe from police officers. Those are some dangerous times, but those are the times we are living in today. That's why it brings me so much anger and disgust for me to see all my brothers and sisters wasting their time on YouTube they have formed a YouTube Gangster Society 2.0 millennium. That's what my brothers and sisters spend their time and energy attacking each other. They have become wannabe YouTube Gangsters 2.0. And I will shine the light on each of them, because we have too many of our brothers and sisters locked up in these slave prisons, and we have no time and energy to give support to our brothers and sisters who are locked up in these slave prisons. Let me say again, all of the YouTube gangsters and hustlers who spend all their time and energy attacking other ADOS and African Americans, brothers and sisters, while we have so many of our brothers and sisters suffering inside of these slave prisons, being mistreated by Jim Crow police 24/7. But you have the luxury of being on the outside, and you use your time and freedom to waste it attacking each other, doing white power's work. You spend a lot of your quality life and time attacking one another. It is very sad, the situation of my people. I don't understand how to reach them. I'm going to continue to use my time wisely and research information and resources to uplift my brothers and sisters. I would not spend all my time attacking my brothers and sisters on YouTube as a YouTube gangster, wannabe gangster. No, I would not use my time doing that. I will not use my time being a YouTube hustler, where I want to hustle the money, the penny and dimes out of my brothers and sisters' pocket, so they can make donation to my Cash App. But I pray to God that my brothers and sisters would take time out of their day and visit this website and hopefully make a donation to support Ozone's legal team. Our brother needs all our support that we can give. I made my donation. His current balance is at $27,000, a little over $27,000. Michi X said they are trying to raise $30,000. Their goal is $90,000. I pray to God that his legal fund will reach the goal of $90,000, because Ozone is possibly being mistreated by Jim Crow police at this very moment. My heart goes out to his family and loved ones. Stay strong. Lean on the support of your religious faith. Trust in your faith. And I pray to God that our Heavenly Father will watch over your loved ones and family during these difficult times that you are facing. I want to thank each and every one for taking the time to watch this video. If I can, I'm going to still make it a point to add the video that Hassan Campbell made about heavy duty country. Let me say his name again. Heavy duty country is a racist individual who has attacked our brother Ozone and every African American and ADOS walking around on this earth. This racist individual, you will hear it out his own mouth how he is attacking every ADOS and African American. And I will include that video with this video. So stay tuned. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Have a good day. Okay, that's the end of part 2. And I will trust that each person will have a chance to listen to this audio and watch the video that Hassan Campbell covered on his YouTube video. Or if you not able to view the full video of the policeman approaching Ozone, so that you can apply your own critical evaluation of what took place on that unfaithful night. I'd like to thank each and every person for taking the time to listen to this audio. And as mentioned before, stay alert and conscious of your surroundings and the people in your surrounding. And whenever possible, try to travel in a buddy system, because the hostile environment that we have been birthed into is really getting to a critical mass. And there are many, many evil persons out there with the intentions to do harm and to kill other persons. I constantly thank my mother for making sure that she explained that to each of her kids over and over, so that our consciousness and alert was always up because of the environment that we were living in. So I've always kept that in mind as I went about my day-to-day and my life. So it has served me well, and I hope and pray that we can support and encourage one another. And most importantly, please stay alert. Stay alert. There are many, many persons out there who are going to want to kill or harm another human being simply because their skin color is brown or dark brown. We already know that the law enforcement do not respect brown and dark-skinned persons as human beings. They do not respect them when they interact with them in the public. And so we don't need to lie about it anymore. We can just be frankly honest about it. And it's our responsibility to protect ourselves. The government is not going to be able to pass a hate crime that can protect ourselves and our kids, and we need not lie to ourselves in that way. If we don't have enough proof by now, for over 150 years, the law enforcement have not protected our human rights and ourselves, and shown respect to brown and dark brown persons, dealt with them in any respectful way. So the government, Congress, and the Senate can pass a law tomorrow, but if it's not going to be enforced, it's just ink on a piece of paper. It's just ink on a piece of paper. It's just words on a piece of paper. If it's not going to be enforced, why trust and believe that this America needs to pass a hate crime bill? I pray to God folks will step back and really think about that. We need to focus on 2 demands. If we give them a third demand, a hate crime bill, they are more than likely going to come before the floor of the Congress and amend the current hate crime bill that's for Asian. They simply have to add a little few words and amend the one that's already on the books, and then make the claim, see, Negroes, we pass a policy or a law that you asked for. And me personally, I can only speak for one person. I am not asking for a hate crime bill because I fully know that law enforcement are not going to enforce it. They're not going to enforce it. So why would I tell myself that lie? So each person needs to think about that, because we may be making a critical error by asking for a hate crime bill when we have had 150 years of proof of not being protected by law enforcement. So why in God's name do we think all of a sudden, if they pass a hate crime bill, that things are gonna drastically change? That's just don't make common sense. It does not make common sense, and it's a false belief that we're gonna be protected if a hate crime bill is passed. They have laws on the books for our protection and human rights this very day, and they're not enforcing them. You cannot pass laws to enforce human beings to treat another human being like a human being. So they can pass laws until we're blue in the face. Racism and discrimination and evil is going to be what folks live by. And that's how they have shown us for over 150 years what they think about our human rights and the respect that we deserve as a human being. So it's going to be the responsibility of every melanated brown or dark brown skinned person to put things in place to protect their human rights and their day-to-day life, and especially the life of their kids. They are innocent persons, do not fully comprehend the unhealthy, hostile environment that they live in day to day. But those of us who are at the age of adult, we have been out in the world for some length of time, and we have an ideal of the world that we are living in. But our kids do not understand that. So they need the adults to help them to understand the hostile, evil environment that they are living in. That's our responsibility and obligation to one another. And I pray to God that we will do a self-evaluation and critical thinking and really understand what we are saying out of our mouth. If we are demanding a hate crime bill, America just might decide to go to the Congress and amend the current hate crime bill and say, we have given you what you demanded. No, I personally do not demand a hate crime bill. I demand separation, which is Special Field Order 15, and direct cash payments in the amount between 1 and 5 million for every descendant of slave ancestors. We are dragging our feet, and every day that passes, more persons are dying that deserve to get that cash payment, reparations cash payment, and to be given either Special Field Order 15 or executive order allocating 40 acres or more to every descendant of a slave person. They have to sit down and put this into effect immediately and stop dragging their feet. Stop with all of this song and dance and circus performance of state to state. We know good and darn well that these states are not going to pass any fair reparations claim. We all have a brain in our head, and we know that each of these states, going state by state, is going to take 20, 40, or 50 years to get through all of these different states. Half of the people will be dead before they see a dime. So why not spend that energy?
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Working towards a national justice claim. Put forth the same effort, use the same effort that you're using per state, and just transition it to a national effort, because that's where the money is going to have to come from. These state by state task force is wasting our time and energy, and it's just giving us false hope. And people need to stop doing that, please. I'm asking each of us to really sit down and think about what we're doing and how it may be harming not only yourself, but the collective. I know that may be hard for some of us due to our self-interest, but we have to do it. We have to do it. California is a perfect example. They are not making any headway in California. First of all, they are sitting up there using the term African American and Black American and freedmen, when every person with a brain in their head know that America enslaved Negroes. And seeing as how folks don't want to identify as Negro, they may be shooting themselves in the foot. They are going to find that out sooner or later. Sooner or later, those who refuse to identify with the term Negro are going to get a bombshell. They are going to receive a rude awakening one day. I don't know when that day is going to come, but it is going to happen, because America know that they had Negro slaves. They did not have persons who were identified as African American, Black Americans, freedmen, ADOS, FBA, in slavery for 246 years. America have it documented, and nowhere in the history of documentation of those 246 years did America ever call it African American slavery, Black American slavery, freedmen slavery, ADOS slavery, FBA slavery. So since we know it was not called any of those terms, why will we choose to decide to shoot ourselves in the foot for the justice claim for the ancestors? Folks are really, really going to have to do some soul searching, some very, very deep soul searching. And every person, one day you're going to have to come to the realization, I made a choice to identify with one of these new terms. Also, we need to separate this conversation. The ancestors' justice claim is separate from our OMB ethnicity identity. They are two separate things. we can collectively identify as make the claim for the justice claim for the ancestors with the term Negro. That is separate from our ethnicity that will be decided at a later date. Why folks keep conflating that, I do not know. I am going to say again, there's two separate things taking place simultaneously. One thing that is taking place is that we are demanding the debt that is owed to the ancestors who were slaves for 246 years. That's one issue. That is separate from the issue of how we are going to identify ethnicity going forward. The two do not combine. The two should not be conflated. They should be kept separate. And seeing as how intelligent and common sense persons are choosing to combine them and conflate them together, it is causing a lot of confusion. And it needs to stop. The justice claim for the debt that's owed to the ancestors for being made slaves for 246 years is separate from an ethnicity identity that the OMB is going to decide hopefully by September of 2024. Those are two separate things. And we need to stop conflating it. We need to start explaining to our people that they are two separate things. It will not harm any of us to make the justice claim based on the term Negro, because that is the term that America labeled it in for 246 years. They put these human beings up for sale as Negro slaves. They clearly spelled it out. Negro slave for sale. Negro slave for sale. Negro slave for sale. So we all know this. We have done the research and seen it documented. So why do we continue to tell ourselves that we do not want to identify as Negro? Well, you don't have to identify as Negro going forward. But in order to make sure we stand on the foundation of the ancestors' sacrifice in this country, we need to stand on Negro. That is clearly what Justice Thomas was hinting towards when he made the statement that a Pacific group can bring a claim against America. There's only one Pacific group that was harmed in America. That is the Negroes. Everyone know this. One Pacific group was harmed, and that Pacific group was Negroes. And also, we need to determine a cutoff date, whether that cutoff date is going to be 1865, 1870, 1890, 1900. We need to decide on a cutoff date. And my thought process is that the cutoff date should be the date that the slaves were freed and emancipated. That would include all the 4 million that was emancipated and freed. It will also include anyone who was already here by 1865 as of the date of that signing of the emancipation, because any person who was walking around free was still treated as a Negro. And any Native American that has not been accepted by the 5 civilized tribes should also be included if they have proof that they are not accepted by the 5 civilized tribes but were lumped into the Negro population against the say. That's the only fair way to do it. So the Congress, the Senate, the President, they need to write up a bill and set a cutoff date somewhere in the range of 1865 to maybe 1870, maybe up to 1890, just to be safe. But the further out that cutoff date go, the further out it will include those that should not be included, because we can't have it both ways. If we're bringing the claim for the 246 years of slavery, then the cutoff date really should be the date that emancipation was signed. If we are making a claim for redlining and discrimination and prison and pipeline, that is a different claim. That is a totally different claim. And folks are doing their very best to try to include all of the harms. That is just humanly impossible. It's no way humanly possible to try to document every harm that America has done to descendants of slaves and anyone who was here by 1865, 1870 at a cutoff date. So the more that we try to include all of the harms, the longer and longer and longer and delays will interfere with a decision being made before the election of 2024. This has to get done before the 2024 election. If America does not come to the table and put into effect either an executive order allocating 40 acres or more to each descendant of a slave person, and each person who can trace a family member back to 1865 or 1870 or maybe up to 1890. If they don't write up a bill stating that each of those persons who can trace a family member back to a census report in the range of 1865 up to maybe 1890, if they were listed on a census report as a slave person, a free person, or they have a documentation that can prove that one of their family members was physically already in America by that cutoff date. That cutoff date needs to be narrowed to either 1865, 1870, or 1890 at the latest. Stretching it up to 1900 really includes a lot of persons that maybe should not be included. That is part of a separate claim of the harm that was done after slavery. So we have got to make up our minds. Are we trying to bring a claim for slavery, or are we trying to bring a claim for Jim Crow laws, black code laws, racism, redlining? We have got to stop trying to conflate all of this into the debt that's owed to the ancestors who were slaves. And I think folks are really stretching, trying to cover all the harms. And that's just not possible. And we know this. So why, again, are we wanting to shoot ourselves in the foot? It's no way. It is no way humanly possible to try to pay for each of the harms that America has done over the last 150 years. And why will we continue to let it cause a delay? So every day that goes by, another person, more persons are dying because we want to prioritize our self-interest. Yes, it will be a wonderful thing if it could be spelled out of all the different harms that was done to descendants of slaves and those who were already free at the time of emancipation, and the Native Americans who had not been included in the 5 civilized tribes. It would be a perfect world if all of that could be ironed out perfectly, but we know it can't. We clearly know it cannot be done. So since we have common sense and intelligence, we should apply it. We should apply it and stop causing these delays, because the more delays and delays and delays that take place, more and more persons are dying daily, day by day. So let's stop doing it, please. We can make 2 specific demands. Special Field Order 15. If Special Field Order 15 is not re-implemented, then the option should be that America pass executive order giving out land to any person who was physically here by 1865, 1870, or 1890 should be given a allotted amount of land per person. If they choose not to re-implement Special Field Order 15, then there should be also an option to consider allocating land to each person that can trace a family member back to 1865 or 1870 or 1890. And then after that is solved, the next demand should be direct cash payments in the amount between $1 million and $5 million per person. $1 million and $5 million. Somewhere in that dollar range should be the amount that should be wrote into law. Because we're going to be here until the earth comes to an end, trying to come up with the perfect dollar amount. That, again, is never going to happen. It's just causing delays. Nothing but delays. And why are we doing it to ourselves? When we clearly know that every day that passes, more and more persons who are deserving of that repair is dying. Who is going to receive their reparations? Who is going to inherit their reparation? Is there going to be something written into law that says that if between 1865 and up to the present day, anyone that died between that in that time frame, their family members should receive those proceeds? If that's going to be the case, then hopefully that can be written into law. But again, I think that will be stretching it to think that America would agree to pay any of those persons who died before this is resolved. It will be the right thing to do. Maybe it can be put into the final decision. I would definitely vote for that to take place. But we, again, to bring this audio to a close, we need to focus on 2 demands. 2, not 3, not 4. 2 demands. Land and cash payments. Those are the 2 demands. Land and cash payments. Can I say it one more time? The 2 priority demands to make to America before the election of 2024 is that each person receive allocated land in the amount of 40 acres or more, and cash payments in the price range of $1 million and $5 million per person. If we narrow the focus of the 2 demands, we have a greater chance of getting this resolved before the 2024 election. I am initiating a national boycott in support of those 2 demands. I will put the boycott website link in the description at below of each audio that I post to my new podcast, Who Did You Boycott Today? I will be making sure that that boycott website link is in each audio that I upload to my podcast. So each person can hopefully have time to go check out the website and decide if they want to put their email address in the subscribe box and become a subscriber on the list, so that we can pressure America to come to the table and meet those two demands before the election of 2024. That hinges on what each of us decide to do between now and November. Whether we decide to enter our email address in that boycott website or take part in any other boycotts that are launched that you hear about. But each person has to look in that mirror and decide what actions are they going to take to help apply pressure to America to force them to come to the table and put into law those two priorities, land and cash payments. We each have to decide what we want to do to help support that. I have taken the time to build a website on the 31st of May, so that all we have to do is put our email address in that website, and all your information will be kept private. It will not be sold or spammed at any time, because I will be the only one that have access to any person that subscribes to the boycott website. I will not be broadcasting who the individual persons are. Each person will be kept private unless you decide to tell other persons that you have joined the boycott website. They will have no way of finding out, because I do not intend to share that information with anyone. Every person that joined the boycott website will be kept private. Once we get our numbers at a certain level, we will be ready to activate, and we'll decide on what we will target, whether that be a business or whether that be a service. But we cannot decide that until our numbers are at a certain level. So it's no need to I have tried to initiate a boycott to target 5 social media platforms, but that did not go well. But hopefully in the future we will be able to agree on a consensus on what we are going to target, whether that be a business or a service, whether that be like a Family Dollar store or a Nike product or a social media platform or a TV show like Netflix, Hulu, sports, entertainment. All the different things will be on the table. Once we get the numbers to a level to be ready to activate, hopefully we will be able to reach 1 million, 2 million, and possibly up to 20 million before June of 2024. But I'm going to need the support of every person to help get the word out there. Please tell your family members and friends and loved ones about the boycott website. And I will keep folks updated on the website. And maybe by September or October, I will try to start posting either a message on the website with an update of the progress, or I will send out a email to each of the subscribers. I just have not decided at this moment. I will try to do it in the most efficient and timely way possible. And the most efficient and timely way may be to just post a a update on the boycott website instead of sending out an individual email to each subscriber. So I'm going to get ready to close this audio. This is part 2 of Othal, Ozone, Wallace audio recording that I made in support of Ozone. And I trust that each person will have a chance to listen to this audio and apply their own critical evaluation and make a decision to support Ozone or not support Ozone. And I would like to say in advance, thank you for any support that you decide to give to Ozone. So with that, remember to stay alert and conscious of our surroundings and the people in our surroundings, and try to always travel in a buddy system, and so that we can help keep each other safe and well. Thank you again for taking the time to listen, and take care.